Hello from the studios at affairrecovery.com. My name is Sam. Thank you for joining me today. I am working through some new series I'm going to be producing over the next few weeks and months with new guests and new opportunities to grow. I feel like we have really turned the corner in a lot of different ways with developmental trauma, with understanding how that affects us, trying to bring in new guests that can continue to increase the knowledge of what we at Affair Recovery and my life's mission can bring and do for you. Today I want to talk to you about something called sustainable transformation. I understand if you watch enough of my videos, you'll see some really old ones and you'll see lots of new ones. There's a gap in there where we took a break. But I'm going to be real honest with you, over the past few years, my weight has fluctuated. I finally hit a point where I was like, look, I got to get outside help. Like, I preach this, get outside help, and I've had help, but I've hit a new plateau where I've had to seek out a different type of trainer and mentor, and it's been really eye-opening. And this mentor and trainer kept using the words sustainable transformation, Samuel. So if you're serious, we got to talk about these few things. And I thought, I can't wait to talk to all of you about sustainable transformation in recovery from infidelity or addiction. There's so much to be said about it. So today we're going to take this little journey and talk about how to achieve sustainable transformation. Healing from infidelity is not just that you wake up one day and you're like, okay, well, I guess we're healed. We don't have reminders and triggers every single day. We're not clawing each other's eyes out, so I guess this is it. It's not just avoiding relapse. It's not just, well, we won't ever do this again. It is experiencing transformation that is sustainable for you, for your partner, for your family, and for your long-term personal goals. I can tell you, there are so many people out there who've experienced transformation, but you have to do work to sustain it. And if you don't, it's very common that we hit plateaus. If you've been in recovery for several years, you have probably hit a few plateaus. You may be at a plateau right now. You may be saying, Sam, we've hit a plateau. Like we've kind of reached a ceiling. Okay. Today's video will help you immensely. Maybe you haven't hit a plateau. You're just grinding and grinding. So today might give you a vision, because that vision is not just, can we just get over this? The vision is, okay, an atom bomb has exploded in our little family here. How do we use it for good? How do we experience transformation? Because that should be the goal, not just to get over it, not to just stop talking about it, not to just put it behind us. The first way that we do this is by seeking outside help, but to go deeper, we stop being a boss and we take some outside influence and we receive outside influence and we stop telling everybody what we think we need, and we stop being the supreme leader of our care team, and we start actually receiving input and influence from therapists, from other organizations that have been through this and are experts that can help you. We stop telling everybody how to deal with us and we start receiving help. We stop being a boss and we say, you know, it's time to trust other people's help who are experts, who've been through it slowly but surely. Speaking of which, when's the last time you went to your therapist that you're working with and said, hey, so look, what do you see that I don't see? What do you think I'm missing? What do you think I keep coming up against that you might be afraid to tell me? What are you afraid to tell me, but you know you need to tell me? I want to hear it. I need it. I have reached a new level of humility because what I've been doing is worked a little bit, but not enough. I want more. What is it that you've been kind of worried about telling me that I need to hear because I want to hear it? When's the last time you said that to your professional that you're working with? If we can have frank conversations with people on our care team, it's essential that we invite that. Because most people are not going to just give you that on their own. And the people that give you that unsolicited insight probably are worthy of, is this the person that I need to be listening to? Most therapists, most professionals who are really good are going to be hesitant to step on your toes. But once you invite them in, when I invited Rick and when I've invited other therapists into my life and said, look, I need it. Tell me. I'll embrace it. I got to have it. I'm desperate. Help me. The good ones have always done it and done it graciously. Next, we achieve this transformation that's sustainable by how we handle plateaus. I can assure you, if you go at this long enough, you're going to hit a plateau. And at that plateau, do you just go, I guess this is as good as it gets? Or do you go, okay, let's do more? That is more marriage or relationship centered. There is a point where you can put the infidelity behind you. It'll always be there and it might trigger you, but you can experience so much healing and restoration and joy that then there will be a point where you're like, okay, maybe we got to work on some financial issues, or maybe we need to work on some childcare stuff, but we want to keep relishing this transformation. We want to keep building. We haven't graduated this work. You haven't graduated professional help or expert care or receiving influence, because if you want to get beyond that plateau, I will tell you personally, listen, I was talking to this coach the other day about some nutrition stuff, and I just said, look, I'm lost on this. Like, I need some help. I've never been this age before. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, my body is it's out of whack. I really need help. So let's get down to brass tactics on this nutrition stuff, because I'm really lost at this. And I understand there's a level of humility that it takes. But if we want to overcome the plateaus in life and in repair work, we will have to have this approach. Next, I really don't think you'll achieve this unless you're willing to get into the weeds of the developmental trauma that you have experienced, as well as your partner has experienced. If you can't incorporate that into your repair work, you're going to keep coming up against these walls and this resistance, both internally and maybe even in your partner. And there's a point where you just say, look, we can't keep doing this. When will we do the work, humble ourselves, or pursue the right help to do developmental trauma work that can add to the experience of recovery work and healing and vulnerability and making amends with one another and understanding other conversations that are going on. I can assure you, in my own life, the developmental trauma work has absolutely changed me. It's shaken me to the core, but it has also changed me at the core of who I am. Next, a quick one. Maybe it's time you give yourself permission to not be okay. Maybe your image management, or maybe you were raised to never show weakness and always just fake it till you make it. That's a whole nother video blog itself, but maybe it's just time to give yourself permission to not be okay, and then to start to do work to be okay. But if we're constantly in denial about that, or about what condition our partner's in, or what condition we're really in, or what our life has looked like, we're not going to be able to face it. We're not going to be able to do the work that we need to do. Finally, this work will culminate around our desire and willingness to integrate the developmental trauma, maybe the childhood wounds, maybe there was neglect and abuse, maybe there's been some type of sexual abuse or molestation, and so many things that we've all been through. If we can integrate that work into who we are now, if we can integrate that type of work, that awareness, that respect, that compassion for what your partner's dealing with, that compassion for what you're dealing with, the awareness of all the different things that make you who you are, the trauma, the triumph, the pain, the hurt, the sadness, the abuse, the neglect, the woundedness that maybe you haven't even come to grips with. When we allow that stuff to be integrated into our life and we're not so fragmented, and we don't just kind of compartmentalize it all, I'm telling you, this will take place in your life and you will not be sorry. If I can answer any questions, if I can speak to anything that you're dealing with, feel free to leave a comment on any platform. Keep going. Do not give up. Do not throw in the towel. It is worth it.